Hi everyone, I'm Robert Moody. I'm the music director of the Portland Symphony Orchestra. I'm here in the U.S. Customs House in Portland, Maine. We have a great series of video segments for you to help you get ready for the concerts in the 2016-17 season. These are called Online Insights. I'm so glad you are checking in with me right now to learn a little bit more about our second Tuesday classical performance for our 16-17 concert season. I'm standing in a very cool place right now, the U.S. Customs House in Portland, Maine. This building was built in 1867, so right at 150 years before this season. It happened, of course, right after the Great Fire. The fire destroyed the original building, and this was the beautiful rebuild. On the second Tuesday classical performance, we have a piece that I have been dying to conduct, I tell you, for 25 years, ever since I got into this business. I'll talk about that piece in just a moment, but first let's talk about another piece that is a beloved piece, and I haven't been dying to conduct it for the first time because I'm very proud that I've conducted it many times. This is a work by Johann Sebastian Bach. Everyone knows the name Bach, one of the three B's, Bach, Beethoven, Brahms, one of the most important, greatest composers of all time. Bach lived from 1685 until 1750, and he was a church musician. He had a job to sort of put out music every Sunday for his various churches. Interestingly, he was not well known for a full century almost after his death. But by the time of the mid-19th century, people had rediscovered his works and realized that this is some of the greatest genius of music ever written. Now, he didn't write only for the church. He wrote incredible concertos. He wrote mass concertos, things like the Brandenburg concertos, which are very famous. He wrote great concertos for many, many instruments. And in one case, he wrote a concerto for two instruments together. The great Bach double, we tend to call it, the concerto for two violins and orchestra. We need two violins for this performance, and we have found two of our great members of the Portland Symphony Orchestra, Amy Sims and Sasha Callahan. Two incredible violinists and incredible people. I hope you get a chance to get to know them a little bit better as we get close to these concerts as well. The first half of the concert, music of J.S. Bach. The second half of the concert, a person whom I think vies for the title of the fourth B. I mentioned Bach, Beethoven, Brahms. In the 20th century, one of the most important composers whose name began with a B was Béla Bartók. Béla Bartók, Hungarian composer who actually moved to the United States right at the time of the Second World War, and he died here in the United States. He wrote some of the most powerful music, I believe, written in the century. Bartók wrote an opera called Bluebeard's Castle, and we are performing this work for you in our concert. Now, I say the word opera, but it really is more of a concert work, even in its inception, than an opera. It calls for only two characters and very minimal staging. And in our case, the orchestra will be on the stage and the two characters will stand and sing for you. You see, the story of Bluebeard's Castle is so sort of psychologically telling and revealing that you don't need props and sets and costumes. You just need the words and the voices of two phenomenal singers. We actually have two of the finest singers in the world singing this concert. I'm so excited that we were able to get Alan Held to sing the role of Bluebeard and Michelle DeYoung to sing the role of Judith. These two are superstars in the opera world. Go Google them right now and you will see that they sing at the Metropolitan Opera, the San Francisco Opera, Covent Garden, La Scala, Vienna State Opera, and on, all major lead roles. This is a real coup to get these two folks to Portland. That's what I mean to tell you. And one interesting note that you might enjoy, this is not the first time that they will have sung the two roles together. It's actually the second time. The last time they did it was with the San Francisco Symphony with Michael Tilson Thomas conducting. So the story of Bluebeard's Castle, it's a pretty funky story. The idea is that there is this great Lord Bluebeard, this great conniving, strong personality who has really raped and pillaged his way to incredible success and power. And he takes his wife, Judith, into his castle, his new wife, Judith, into his castle. And very quickly, she notices that in this castle, there are 7 grand doors. Well, she asks him, basically, what is that behind the first door? And he does not want to show her. He tells her that he loves her and says, you don't want me to open the door for you. The door finally does open, and what is behind is revealed. You'll have to come to the opera to see. This goes on with each of the doors. I would tell you especially to keep your energy and your eye out for the opening of the 5th door. Musically, it is some of the best music I think ever written. It's a string of major chords placed together in such a way and coming after not atonality, but a mixed tonality that leaves you just waiting for the release of these major chords. Listen to the 5th door and you'll see what I mean. By the time they get to the 7th door, the final door, and Bluebeard says, I really cannot show you what's behind the door, Judith forces him through her love. He opens the door, and there behind are the zombified bodies of his former wives, at which moment Judith becomes one of them and joins them. It's a crazy story with incredible, sort of wonderful psychological and cultural overtones, but most importantly, the music is phenomenal. By the way, it's also going to be sung in Magyar. What is Magyar, you say? Magyar is the language of Hungary. Like our language is English, not American, the Hungarians say that they speak Magyar. Beautiful language, beautiful way to bring this concert to an end, and finally, I get to conduct, our orchestra gets to play one of the greatest operas written in the 20th century. See you there.